Tonight on Tranquil Radio, Chester Bennington's legacy lives on through his son. Guns N' Roses back in the studio, if you can believe that. And Bring Me the Horizon cancel the rest of their tour dates. All this and more coming up on Tranquil Radio.
People will bow to it.
What's up, everybody? This is Tranquil Radio coming at you from Cleveland, Ohio. I am your host, Sean Ryan.
And I am Jimothy.
And I am hungover. Be sure to subscribe, and let's just get it started. We have a little bit of Chester Bennington news from beyond the grave.
All right, as everyone is aware, Chester passed 2 years ago, July
2 years ago, I know.
Yeah,
Can
July
you believe
2017. Yeah, it's been so long. Everybody knows Chester from Linkin Park, obviously. He was also involved with Stone Temple Pilots, Dead by Sunrise, and
good album with Ryan Shuck from Orgy.
Yeah, both the boys from Orgy, both the guitar players, right?
Oh, is the guys from Julian K then?
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's both of them.
I do my research.
Before Linkin Park, Chester was in a post-grunge band called Daze, and it's kind of getting some traction lately because they've gotten back together. Apparently, at one time before their passing, Chester had communicated with drummer Sean Dowdell in trying to actually getting kind of like a reunion back together just to kind of put together new material and stuff like that. And unfortunately, with passing, things never made traction. In the mini documentary, if you will, the History of Grey Daze, drummer Sean Dowdell mentioned that they had been working towards the re-recording of old material and writing things, and it was tentatively supposed to come out September 20th of 2017. I don't know if that was an actual album release or maybe just an official press announcement or what. They were ramped up, ready to actually make the band happen again with Chester, and of course he passed in July of that year, so it never happened. It's kind of sad. It would have been interesting to actually see him go back to that and bring like his vocal talents of now to that sound.
What a shame.
Yeah.
Just terrible fucking story, man.
But wait, there's more.
Apparently they're actually hitting the studio, and they're hitting the studio with Chester's son, Jamie Bennington. Right now they've been doing sessions, and they've been bringing in guitarists from Korn, Brian Welch,
Head.
Head, and James Schaefer, Monkey, as everyone knows.
Yeah, and the guy from P.O.D. Which guy was that?
Marcus Curiel. They've also brought in Bush guitarist Chris Trainer. Ryan Shuck has also been contributing to the project as well. So you got an all-star cast of people contributing to this this band, kind of bringing back some of the songs that Chester had written with this band.
Written? Chester had written? You said wrote.
Did I say wrote? It is Roten.
On Grey Daze' official Facebook page, which you can follow and keep up to date on that, they had said about a week ago, Chester would have been so very proud of his son, Jamie Bennington. We had Jamie sing along with his father last night at NRG recording studios, and his voice is great. Sounds a lot like his father, and we are all very proud to be a part of it, along with a shitload of hashtags.
But yeah, they posted that. They also posted some footage of Brian Head Welch actually with them in the studio tracking guitar. The band started when Chester was only 15 years old.
Yeah, like you can see actually in this video right here that before Linkin Park, you can definitely tell there was a drastic shift in rock music where like you can hear Chester's developing vocals on stage where like you hear him sing and it's like and then it like kicks into the chorus and you go, that's Chester.
Right.
There's also this like wonderfully 90s like
One step closer.
This is how everybody sang in the 90s.
That's cool to see Chester's legacy living on.
One more thing just to add, I found it interesting. In the History of Grey Daze, the drummer even acknowledges that basically Warner Brothers said you have to basically scrub any kind of indication that you were ever part of this Grey Daze because it's conflict with selling Linkin Park. So that's why there was no rollover, and it didn't come back till much later because basically Warner Brothers was like, you need to like pretend this never even happened, even though they were a fairly successful band in their own right.
It's like that. There was a terrible Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie with Matthew McConaughey and Renelle Zellweger.
Who the fuck is Renee Zellweger?
They tried to, like, they became stars, like, immediately after that movie, and, like, all their publicists and everything, they tried to, like, bury that movie and get them off the covers of the movies.
Yep.
Even just, like, a year or two ago or whatever, when they re-released it on Blu-ray, they wanted Matthew McConaughey and Renee's faces taken off of the box, which was the main selling point for that movie, because it is a really shit movie. Fun fact. Next story. Next! Guns N' Roses, are they back in the studio again? Sources say yeah. Big source, like Slash. All right, earlier, 2 weeks ago, Richard Fortus, the rhythm guitarist that kind of looks like Izzy but isn't Izzy, but is playing on Guns N' Roses tour, he has said that they are planning on doing more recording. Now, this was just kind of a rumor, and he's like, you know, he's low-hanging fruit. He's kind of at the bottom of the pyramid there. Richard had actually said that they're expecting possibly a single out before the end of 2019, which is a long way away from now. So, like, you know, you never know what they're going to say, because Guns N' Roses is obviously, before Chinese Democracy even came out, I mean, it was just like, oh yeah, it'll be out next year, it'll be out next year, next year, next year, next year. Then it's like 13 fucking years later, and it's like it finally comes out. It doesn't have any of the band members that you guys remember, except for Dizzy Reed and Axl, and it's I really personally loved it because I am a huge Axl fan, but it did not do well. It did not do well at all. Ask Coley, who worked at Best Buy, how many of those fucking CDs and albums were still there. They had to go bury in a fucking landfill.
In a pile next to E.T. the game.
Yes. For you longtime listeners, you'll understand that. Slash has actually confirmed that they are in the studio. They are actually working on this shit. Who knows? But Slash has actually confirmed this. Slash did an interview with TVK's Rock City. He says, and quote, Axl, Duff, myself, and Richard have all talked about ... There's material and stuff going on already for a new record. It's just with Guns N' Roses, you don't go, oh, there's a plan and it's going to be like this, because that's just not how it works. Basically, the only real answer to give is that we're hoping to put a record out and we'll just see what happens when it happens. He goes on to say, there is no shortage of ideas from everybody involved, but we've been so busy on the road that there hasn't been much time to go and sit down and go like, okay, we're going to go make a record. End quote. That is actually like really big news. This is my life. This is me now!
This is me now!
Slash is out on the road right now with Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators, and I don't know, they're going to do a tour for probably about 6 months. I know they're coming to Cleveland. That's going to be cool. But, you know, I have heard things from Mark Tremonti and Miles that Tremonti's going to go do his thing, and then Alter Bridge, I think, is going to do either a new album or just go out on tour for the hell of it or something like that.
I didn't know Alter Bridge was still active.
No, they're still a thing. Slash had consumed a lot of Miles' time, and Mark Tremonti just went on and did his solo thing, Tremonti. When those tours wrap up and Miles goes back to Alter Bridge, we may be seeing another tour with Guns N' Roses, possibly them hanging out in the studio and working on some new shit. So we will see, and we'll keep you posted.
Next up, first to last,
just real quick.
Skrillex in the news. Quick little blurb, real quick. As everybody knows, Sonny Moore of Skrillex, formerly from First to Last, is now back in First to Last. As of 2017, they've been doing very minimal thing. They've released a couple singles, and they've just announced that they're going to have their first live performance in over 2 years.
In New Orleans,
New Orleans, New Orleans, March 22nd of this year, and it's It's actually an after-party event for the Buku Festival project.
Okay.
So
what's Buku?
It's an art festival. It's like an art and music festival. So there's a lot of events going on, and this the From First to Last show is actually just kind of an after-party event.
Cool.
Coupled with that art show. All right, and a quick quote from my drummer, Derek Bloom. He had tweeted, we are playing a show. If you are in NOLA, come party with me, Matt, Travis, and Sonny. You will be shocked at what we play. You know, trying to really kind of ramp it up the show and try to make it seem like a big deal, even though it's just you're playing fucking after party for this fest. So yeah, if you go to the actual event website where they're kind of listing all the you know the bands that are participating, it's actually just listed as From First to Last DJ set with Matt and Travis.
So I don't know. Is it going to be like a Skrillex slash From First to Last set? Like, is it going to be?
Is it just like Sonny's back in the band, so I can say that Skrillex is doing something with From First to Last, and they're showing up here and they're doing some weird DJ set?
It's going to be big. Whatever it is, like, you know, From First to Last, it's a fucking God bless that Sonny went on to be Skrillex.
Mm-hmm. Right?
Because people didn't really care about them to begin with, but you know now this adds a whole new flavor.
So I mean, yeah, there's not much on it. The event's kind of a partnership with Emo Night LA, you know, who just throws various events with that branding around the country, and they're popping up everywhere.
But the true Emo Night is at the Foundry in Lakewood. Don't forget that.
Quoting Coley Colgate.
One thing I did notice, is that I'm familiar with Skrillex. I was a DJ for a while, and like I really loved his music. It was very influential and completely sounded different at the time. You could say whatever you want about EDM. Like, I don't care. Like, a lot of it's garbage too. I get it. But Sonny Moore was in From First to Last is the singer, and like it's a testament to how much of a nice guy that Sonny actually is, because like he is never, I've never seen any reports of him just being a dick or getting in trouble on Twitter or anything like that. But From First to Last, like if you know anything about their history, and I know very little, but From First to Last, they were not nice to Sonny at all. It was one of the reasons why he actually like left the band, was like he got picked on a lot. Like they were his own personal bullies in the same band. And that's pretty like fucked up, because like you're the lead singer, like,
well, I mean, that's
and
pretty
you
much
get picked on, but it's
well,
like they would pick on him and his acne and his big nose and like things like that. And it's just
well,
like,
I mean, that's pretty much.
It's like that sucks, man.
That was Trap House Rave with Colgate. Everybody in the band had to rip on that guy.
Everybody still rips on Coley.
That's fair.
We love you, Coley.
We love you.
On to our final story. We have Bring Me the Horizon. Recently, Tommy Lee actually got married for the 4th time. Completely off story.
Oh, what? Random fact of the day.
Okay, Bring Me the Horizon. They recently had to cancel the remaining tour dates of their American tour, which I believe was only 2. Which, sorry for those cities. Whatever, man. Bummer. But, they'll be back. Whatever. Just fucking deal with it for right now. But Bring Me the Horizon recently, with their new album that came out, Ammo, that went number 1 in the UK, their first number 1 album, and peaked at number 14 in the US charts. That's a pretty big deal. So they've been on this tour, and they made their late-night television debut on Jimmy Kimmel Live. That was on February 14th, Valentine's Day, where they played Medicine and Mother Tongue. The one thing that people were noticing is that the bassist Matt Keane, was notably absent and replaced with the Fever 333s.
Sean's favorite band.
Oh, I can't believe even a soul listens to that band. Matt Keane was replaced with Fever 333's guitarist Steven Harrison. Fans noticed that, and they were just wondering what the fuck was going on with that. And then all of a sudden, the next day, they say that the rest of the tour is canceled. And they're wondering, does the bass player have anything to do with it? There has been no mention of why Matt Keane was actually replaced with Steven Harrison, but they added that as fuel to the fire of just like saying, like, why is Bring Me the Horizon canceled? And then Ali comes out the next day. Ali had said that, he done fucked up his right vocal cord. And quote, he had gone on to say, "Hey everyone, I am gutted to announce that we have to cancel the remainder of our American tour. I have ruptured my right vocal cord." That sounds terrible, by the way. And I have been told if I don't rest immediately, I am in serious danger of doing permanent damage. Cite Burt McCracken. I have been trying my best to fulfill our commitments, as I really hate letting you guys down. Not to mention these shows have literally been the most fun ever. But at this point, me singing would be the equivalent of a footballer running on a broken leg. Once again, I am so sorry. I hope you all understand, end quote.
Remember, it's Bring Me the Horizon, so when he's talking about footballer, he's probably talking about soccer.
There are clips from Jimmy Kimmel Live where you can see Bring Me the Horizon playing on their massive stage in front of all these people and shit, and you can definitely tell Ali, like, he's keeping it very professional, but his keyboardist is doing he's filling in a lot of parts where it could be very stressful to the vocal cords. So you can hear a little bit of rasp in his voice. Being a singer myself, I can tell that's unnatural and it's very bad. So I mean, I can completely understand. This happens to singers all the time.
And you just have to let it heal, because I mean, there's no coming back from that kind of damage too. It's not like when an instrument breaks, you can get a new one. Once your vocal cords are shot, they're shot, and that's your career.
I know, and like I said with Burt McCracken, he can't scream anymore. I think it's his guitarist or his bass player that does that now. Even M. Shadows, who is notoriously blown out his vocal cords completely, had reconstructive surgery and like come back. And, with all the training and stuff that he does, he still gets a very sore throat from, and he's not even like a screamer. Like,
well, he was in the early days.
Yeah, he
too,
was.
And that's why he had to completely change his tact, or he wouldn't have a career anymore.
Yeah, no, I love the sound of his voice now, actually, better than when he was a screamer.
Right.
But, that's nothing to fuck with, like Wu-Tang. Best to Ollie Sykes. Get better soon, buddy. And that is all we have for this week's Tranquil Radio, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, like the video, leave us comments, man. We want to know what you guys have to say about our show. Go to our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/TrendKillRadio216. And that is all for us. I am Sean Ryan.
And I'm Jimothy.
And this is Trend Kill Radio.
People will bow to it.
Richard had previously...
I thought you were doing Tim the Toolman Taylor. I'll be Wilson. And on to the story.
I'll be a meerkat.
No one's going to give a shit about Cardi B in 10 years. I'm sorry.